Welcome to our English podcast. Let's practice speaking together.
Hey everyone! Welcome back to the Just Speak English podcast. I'm Hailey.
And I'm Chase. Really glad you're here with us today.
Today's episode is a little different. We're not going to talk about grammar or vocabulary tips or how to stop procrastinating. Today, we're going to talk about something bigger: purpose. Why you're doing this at all. Why you wake up and choose to keep learning, keep growing, keep going, even when it's hard.
And I think this is actually one of the most important conversations we can have on this podcast. Because without purpose, all the tips and strategies in the world don't stick. You need a reason, a real one.
So, if you've ever felt like you're just going through the motions, studying English without really knowing why, living your days without a clear direction, this one is for you. Subscribe if you haven't yet, and let's get into it.
5 words today. We're adding one extra because this topic deserves it.
First, purpose. Purpose is the reason you do something, the deeper meaning behind your actions. She finally found her purpose when she started teaching English to children in her community.
Second, fulfillment. Fulfillment is the feeling of satisfaction and happiness that comes from doing something meaningful. He changed careers, and for the first time in years, he felt real fulfillment.
Third, drift. To drift means to move without direction or intention, just going wherever life takes you, without choosing. After graduation, he spent 2 years drifting. No clear goals, no real plan.
Fourth, intentional. Being intentional means doing things on purpose with awareness and clear goals, not by accident. She became very intentional about how she spent her time. Every hour had a reason.
And fifth, legacy. Legacy is what you leave behind, the impact you have on others and the world after you're gone. He wanted his legacy to be that he inspired people to believe in themselves. Okay, purpose, fulfillment, drift, intentional, legacy. Let's talk.
Hailey, I want to start with a question that I think a lot of people are afraid to ask themselves. Do you feel like you have a clear purpose in life?
Honestly, it took me a long time to get there. For a big part of my 20s, I felt like I was just drifting. I had a job, I had friends, things looked fine from the outside, but inside there was this quiet feeling that something was missing. Like I was living someone else's life.
That's such a hard feeling to describe. Because it's not unhappiness exactly. It's more like emptiness. You're not suffering, but you're not really alive either.
Exactly. And I think a lot of people live there, in that middle space between fine and fulfilled. And they stay there because they don't know what their purpose is and they don't know how to find it.
So, how do you find it? Because I think a lot of people wait for purpose to arrive, like it's going to show up one day and introduce itself.
Hello, I'm your purpose. Nice to meet you.
Exactly. And, and it never comes. Because purpose doesn't arrive. You build it. You find it by doing things, paying attention to what lights you up, and then doing more of that.
There's a great question I came across once. Not, what do you want to do with your life? But what problems do you want to solve? Because purpose is almost always connected to something bigger than yourself. It's about contribution. It's about looking at the world and saying, this thing needs to change, and I want to be part of that change.
And I think that's where a lot of people get stuck. They're looking for purpose in things that feel good for themselves. Money, status, comfort. And those things are fine. but they don't give you the deep fulfillment that comes from mattering to someone else.
That's so true. I've noticed that the people who seem most at peace with their lives, not the richest or the most successful necessarily, but the most at peace, they almost always have something they're contributing to: a family, a community, a cause, a craft, something outside of themselves.
And how does this connect to learning English? Because I think for a lot of our listeners, English is part of something bigger for them. It's not just a language, it's a door.
Yes, and I think this is so important to name. When someone is learning English just because they feel like they should, just because it's expected, they struggle to stay consistent. But when someone is learning English because it's connected to a dream, to moving abroad, to getting a specific job, to communicating with people they love, to accessing a world of knowledge they can't reach in their own language, that person is unstoppable.
Because their English study isn't a task, it's an act of purpose. Every lesson, every podcast episode, every conversation practice, it's a step towards something that actually matters to them.
So, what do you say to someone who genuinely doesn't know what their purpose is? Someone who feels lost, who doesn't have that clear vision yet.
I say stop trying to find it and start trying to feel it. Pay attention to the moments when time disappears, when you're so absorbed in something that you forget to check your phone, forget to eat, forget how much time has passed. Those moments are clues. Your purpose lives somewhere near those feelings.
And I'd add, pay attention to what makes you angry. Seriously, what injustice or problem in the world makes your blood boil? Because that anger is often a signal. It's pointing at something that matters deeply to you. And things that matter deeply to you are often connected to your purpose.
I love that. Anger as a compass, because we always think of purpose as something joyful, and it can be, but it can also be urgent. It can be driven by something you refuse to accept. I refuse to accept that children don't have access to education. I refuse to accept that people feel alone. That refusal, that fire, is purpose too.
And then there's the question of legacy. What do you want people to say about you when you're gone? Not at your funeral. I know that sounds morbid, but really, what impact do you want to have had? Because if you know that, you can work backwards. You can ask yourself, is what I'm doing today moving me toward that impact?
And what if the answer is no?
And then you have information. You know something needs to change. And that's not a crisis, that's clarity. A lot of people are afraid of that realization, but it's actually a gift because now you know. And knowing is the beginning of doing.
I think the saddest version of a life isn't one that had too much failure. It's one that had too much waiting. Waiting for the right moment, the right opportunity, the right feeling. And then one day you look back and realize the moment was always now.
The moment was always now. Chase, that's going in my journal tonight.
Please do. And for everyone listening, this doesn't have to be dramatic. You don't have to quit your job and move to another country tomorrow. Purpose can start small. It can start with one intentional decision today. One thing you do because it moves you toward the life you actually want, not the life that just happened to you.
And if that one thing is pressing play on this podcast, genuinely, we mean it. We're honored to be part of your journey. Whatever you're building your English for, we're rooting for you.
So here's your challenge for this week. Sit down for 10 minutes, no phone, no distractions, and answer this question in writing in English. What am I building toward? It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be big. Just honest. That 10 minutes might be the most important English practice you do all week.
And if you want to share your answer in the comments, please do. We would genuinely love to read it.
Quick vocab recap. Purpose. The deeper reason behind your actions. Fulfillment. The satisfaction of doing something meaningful. Drift. Moving without direction or intention. Intentional. Doing things with awareness and clear goals. And legacy. The impact you leave behind after you're gone.
And the big ideas from today. Purpose is built, not found. It lives near the things that make time disappear. It's connected to something bigger than yourself. And the moment to start moving toward it is always now.
Comment below. What are you building your English for? What's the door you're trying to open? Tell us. Genuinely.
Next episode, talking about daily life in English. Back to practical conversation after this deeper one. A perfect balance. Don't miss it.
Gosh. Thank you so much for being here today. This one meant a lot to us to record. Subscribe if you haven't yet, and we'll see you in the next one.
Bye, everyone.
Bye!